Hi everyone, this is Amit Aggarwal. I'm super excited to be taking you through a class on fashion illustration. It's something that I've really found exciting in the last 2 months of the lockdown. I hope you enjoy this session. Be safe, be creative. Let's start drawing the human head. The human head is a combination of an angular triangle that points towards the chin and an elongated oval, almost like an egg, towards the the side of the head. I like to keep my illustrations and my fashion figures a little more stylized. I think it just gives them a sense of movement. I like elongated necks, very strong lines. So while illustrating, just remember to not use the eraser. You work with the lines that come naturally to you, and then, of course, with bolder strokes, you can just enhance the lines that you really like. So here if you see, I drew a basic framework first, and then later on the lines that I really liked from the framework, I kind of highlighted it with a darker line just so that I know the boundary of the silhouette that I'm working with. Of course, keep your hand extremely fluid, your wrist should be free, and the most important thing is the face. I think it is extremely important to draw certain guidelines and marking points to define the eyebrow, the nose, the lip, and of course, as you move, keep your light lines extremely light so that you can darken them as and when you need them. So here I clearly have realized that I've not done justice with the lip, so erased a few lines and again kept a little bit of a marker so that when I ink it out, I know the line that I'd like to take out of the lines that I've drawn for the lip. Now it's the time to sharpen your lines. I am increasing the silhouette here and there wherever I feel that it's a little too contrived. The collarbone is probably one of my most favorite areas to draw, and I thoroughly enjoy how the shoulder blends into the collarbone effortlessly. Moving on, we start the process of inking. I think this is the most crucial part because you take the most significant and the most important lines out of your pencil drawings and kind of darken them and make sure that it comes close to what you are imagining. The face, of course, is a bit of a challenge always, and expressions, I've realized in my multiple drawings that expressions keep changing, and I think that it only lends the illustration to have, it lends a beautiful feeling to the illustration. I like, I generally like to draw a chiseled jawline, a little definition to the brow, the nose, and I generally demark the hairline, and then of course as I build on the sketch I keep on adding. Though I illustrate a lot, I still honestly falter a lot, and I feel that the only way to move forward is actually to keep building on it and not feel that something's gone wrong. When it comes to the silhouette, I have fallen in love with the Pentel brush pen. I think it's an effortless way of drawing. I love how I can add pressure, I can release pressure and make the lines thin and thick. I'm choosing to draw one of my most favorite pieces from one of our recent collections. It's a beautiful organic burst of flowers on the upper torso, almost traveling down to the waist. It's almost leaf-like, but also a little alien in its nature, and we thoroughly enjoyed making the piece. And I think I'm really enjoying illustrating this for you. The brush pen actually is a great tool, and of course, it comes with a lot of control and practice, but it can give you shadows, it can give you depth, it can make your lines thick and thin. I love doing the eyebrow with it. I think it just literally looks like hair. And also, I definitely use the Camlin permanent black permanent ink because it becomes a waterproof base for any other rendering that needs to be done on top. If you noticed, I had done a hairline earlier which I wasn't too happy about. So while I use a darker pen, I can definitely build up on it, highlighting the curve of the neck, moving into the shoulder, strokes of the hair. I think illustration is also a lot about fun, about imagination, about letting yourself free. And I think that every time I draw pensively, it's probably the most beautiful feeling that I go throughout the day. And as you know, a lot of our work actually revolves around um, architecture, strong lines. So I'm pairing a beautiful organic looking top with an angular, very distinct skirt. I'm using a much sharper tool, which is a point 0.7 pen. It's a black rotary pen, which gives me very clear, distinct lines, and it's quite sturdy while drawing. So it really helps my lines to be perfect and parallel to each other. Also, little detailings really help the sketch come out, and also kind of becomes a great base if you have to ultimately fabricate that piece, because I think illustration is primarily the most important medium for a designer to express what they ultimately envision of the outfit. As you see, without moving the paper, it's been quite easy to draw bias in both the directions, vertical, horizontal lines. I think that of course comes with a lot of practice, but I think the harder you um, make make it for yourself, the fruits are definitely much more beneficial in the long run. I definitely always like to add a little bit of sensual feeling to my outfits, so or the sketches. So I definitely add hints of body parts, be it the arm, the curve of the waist, a little bit of the apex or the bust. I think it kind of just makes it a little more magical. Collarbones, again, my favorite part. And now the brush pen can be used to add a lot more details to the outfit, the finer details that bring out the depth. Here, I'm just making parts of the outfit or the details a little darker so that you can understand the layering in the illustration. Of course, once you get used to the idea of drawing with a brush pen, I think every other medium kind of feels a little restrictive, because the brush pen literally is really magical. Just remember to take really good care of them, because they tend to dry up very soon. The You have to keep the bristles really moist and definitely keep them capped on. Just doing a little more detail, like a little bit of the lash, a little bit of the eyeliner. Little gloss and depth to the lips. Always like a strong mouth. I feel that that really gives a lot of definition to the sketches. Just going over the lines once more. So when I honestly started with the sketch, I wasn't quite happy with the way it was going, and I probably thought I might have to scrap it. But I realized that once you start building on a base, you start to realize that every line that you have drawn has enough potential for it to be built upon. Here, I think we are ready with our base, and if you want to go ahead with more experimentation, why don't we throw in a burst of color here? Okay, so I start with um, a pastel, a skin tone pastel. For the longest, I was actually very fascinated by a lot of international brands that used to make pastels, and I suddenly stumbled upon an Indian make of a pastel set, and I literally fell in love with it. It is extremely vibrant, it has wonderful colors, and it blends very effortlessly. Here I'm just doing some basic strokes of color. I realized that the silhouette and the out the outlines came out so strong that I just wanted color to be a little bit of a hint in the illustration just to add a little depth. But overall, I did want primarily a silhouette oriented sketch. Uh, I always try and use my fingers effortlessly. I mean, for a lot of people, smudging a sketch is probably not the best thing to do, but I honestly don't believe in that. I feel that your fingers, your palm, your every part of the human hand um, is really supposed to be utilized to create a drawing or a painting, and I think that I'm quite I'm not really caught up with the idea of not smudging a sketch. Um, I've always enjoyed using the pastel. The pastel colors actually blend effortlessly and mix um, quite smoothly with each other, and it's been a new addition to my illustrations, but I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. So here I'm actually stroking the illustration with a deeper color inside and just smudging towards the outside. So it literally looks like a deeper, darker color is in the epicenter while it radiates towards the outside. Also, don't try and restrict yourself too much to fill within the lines, because if it's an imaginative illustration, then the only thing that you need to do is to just have fun and go all out. So as you see, I'm just adding color wherever I feel the color needs to be, using my fingers effortlessly to its maximum potential. And yeah, I think blending a pastel is probably, it really takes me back to my childhood, where I feel that dipping your hands in color was not considered a bad thing to do, and pastels really bring that out in me. So yeah, if you can see, I've put in an aqua with an aubergine, and they've kind of blended effortlessly. Of course, I've smudged a little too much towards the exterior, so these paints really allow you to erase them off. Hints of a darker color can come where you'd like to add a little bit of shadows, but yeah, I think pastels really lend themselves to be so malleable. Adding a little bit of gold shading to an otherwise silver metallic skirt, and yeah, just the last bit of finishing touches. Clean your sketches wherever you feel they've smudged or you feel that the paper's gone a little dirty with your hand. Yeah, the finer details, the last before before your baby is ready, the little finer details to just add to that extra magic. Cleaning all the eraser bits. And the thing I love the most, signing it off as a memory that I made this on a wonderful evening.